Hey guys, I wanted to give you the latest with the Nancy Guthrie case. There isn't a ton of stuff that's been happening, but notably, the one thing that I found to be interesting and important was that the lab that they sent some DNA evidence to is having trouble processing it, and it is because they said it's a mixed profile, which means it's from multiple people. They haven't stated what people, like if it's Nancy's mixed with somebody else's or if it's two perpetrators. They haven't said that yet. I'm not sure if they know or not, but apparently it's hard to kind of separate one from the other. And I did some research, and Brian Etten, as well as Ashley Banfield, I believe, talked to Cece Moore, who most of you probably have heard of her. She is, the expert in genetic genealogy, things like that. So she said that it isn't a good sign if they're already having trouble, like if it already took this long, that, it may be that they aren't able to do it at all. But as of right now, I believe they're still trying. So hopefully they can at least identify somebody, like one person, at least. But yeah, I am not an expert with that stuff, so it sounds very difficult to me. But apparently the people at that Florida lab are very good. That is what Cece Moore even said. So I know a lot of people, and myself included, were giving the sheriff a lot of shade for sending it there instead of Quantico. And it's still a debatable move. However, it, made me feel a little bit better that, Cece Moore, of all people, thinks that it is a really great lab and they're good at what they do. And she said that they've actually solved some pretty tough cases. So looks like, that wasn't a horrible decision on Nanos's part. But yeah, we're just waiting. They don't really have a time frame that's specified. And also there was searches done by volunteers. That's kind of the first time we're seeing that. I believe the sheriff's department discouraged it at the beginning. I believe I remember him putting a statement out saying that, it can interfere with the investigation and that they don't want volunteer search parties. Now, though, I'm not sure, if people just decided to go ahead and do it on their own, despite whatever, the sheriff said, or if, they're kind of relaxing on that. But yeah, a lot of people came out and searched, and none of them even really knew Nancy. They just know the story and they feel compelled to help out. A lot of them were saying that, they connect with Nancy because they feel they can relate to her because, of their mom or their grandma. Like, she kind of seems like everyone's mom or grandma. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm still holding out hope. But yeah, I think our best bet is the genetic genealogy, that hopefully some of the DNA evidence can produce a match that way, even though, like, I know it can take a while, but it caught Koberger. So, and as of right now, the sheriff says there's no suspects identified. at all. So whether he's just keeping that close to his chest, or, you know, if that is true and they really just don't have any idea, I find it hard to believe. I feel like if not him, the FBI has, you know, some idea. They don't have proof. And so hopefully them being involved more in the case will help things along. But yeah, that is the latest with the Guthrie case. Like I said, it was very slow over the weekend in terms of news. And that is, you know, I mean, it's concerning, but it's also comforting in a way that, like, you know, nothing horrible has been reported that happened to her. However, you know, it kind of is discouraging when there appears to be no movement for days in a case like this. So, but I hope you guys are all having a good Monday, and I will talk to you later. Bye.